Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my first impression of Path of Exile. My name is Jeremiah, also known as the Mighty DOWLord. Path of Exile is an action RPG dungeon crawler game similar to the Diablo franchise. Now, at the beginning of the game, you pick one of 7 classes. All comes with distinct abilities, strengths and weaknesses. Like you can see here, you have, for instance, the Shadow, and you had like Rain, Witch, Duelist, and all this kind of stuff, depending on what you want to play as. Now, there is one of my personal favorites, which is Templar, because he's a lot of powerful abilities, and you can go focus all on physical strength if you want to go tanky. So anyway, for those who aren't familiar with the gameplay formula of this genre, it's actually very simple. You kill enemies, gain loot, level up, and you complete quests for NPCs. Now, as I'm going to show you here a little bit of how the gameplay will work in this gameplay that's running around here. Actually, not me playing here, I'm just doing commentary afterwards. Now, as you can see, there's like that dude has a high level, has a fire sword of some kind. I know, it's pretty awesome. Anyway, you can actually buy and sell items, and if you go to here, like the notice board, it has to do with a lot of, you can see trades and other stuff, social things with friends and people playing the game. And as you can see, you can purchase different stuff that can help you. You can also, of course, sell items as well. Now, this is pretty cool here, as we'll show you in a minute, about the inventory system. Whenever it pops out, there you go. Okay, now this is kind of interesting because you have, of course, your inventory, and sort of like helmets, armor, feet, gloves and stuff, and amulets. But it's really cool because the way it works is you can have, instead of just having with your skills, you just unlock through leveling up or something, and putting down there, as you can see, either on the QWE and so on. It's actually like sort of an item which takes up an item slot in your inventory, and then you can put that on a corresponding color. As you can see, red or blue, for instance, can only fit in red and blue on items. Now, this makes you have a lot of diversity and be able to accumulate a lot of skills and have them at once, which is pretty awesome in my opinion. And I'm going to show you some gameplay real soon how that works. And another cool thing is that you can have two you can have 2 in a weapon like I do with a staff, but you can also have 100 weapons at the same time, like for instance if you want dual wield or if you want to go for shield and such. Now, as you see here, we're going to the skill tree, and you have your ability here, like basic stuff. I mean, this seems like, first time opening up, like, whoa, this is kind of big actually. But then you start moving around, and yeah, you'll notice here it's just getting bigger and bigger. And then it did a thing you should not. I zoomed out, and you realize, like, oh man, this is incredible. Like, look at that. Wow, there's so many things you can do here. Now, this really gives you a diverse game. You can just go wherever you want. You can do any sort of character build on that specific class you want. I mean, no one will ever be looking the same. And as you can see here, there's like a lot of different things you can choose from, and so on. And you'll also see here I'm focusing on staff, so I've been building a strength and then going to that battle staff training down there. It's just a little bit sad because, I mean, even this gives you a lot of availability to how you want to play. It also has a big negative in my point, and that is that whatever you want to focus for, you really need to plan a long way ahead. I mean, you can level up a lot, of course, but if you want to go for that sort of thing like far into the east, I mean, you gotta think of that whenever you put out your points. And I just think that's one of the negatives, that it's just too big. Maybe there's no really like guide here that you can look, except you gotta search on for the internet, of course, guys. But that's just a little bit of a minor thing that I just don't think is just needed. Some sort of guide for how you're gonna build a character, because that would really be helpful. Now, this is sort of like the teleport system where you can use like a waypoint, so means with the town and the mud flats there. Now, I'm teleporting there, which is kind of cool if you find another waypoint. And you can get in there, you can just easily travel around, and you also have some scroll, I think it's portal scrolls, which you can use to get back to town if you ever want it. Now you're gonna see him getting into action. Now it's very cool, it's simple here, because you move around and hit with your left mouse button, and you can see there's some pretty cool action. Trust me, we get more intense and enemies later on. Anyway, the thing I'm doing here is pretty much like demonstrating that even if I had this one on left mouse button, you know, I could remove that whenever I want. So now, for instance, I put an attack on my right instead, so you know I can just use my right mouse button instead if I want now. And this just brings, it's a really cool feature because you can mess around with however and where you want to put your skills or a lot of other stuff. And I just love that because you can really customize your own experience. You know, like forced into having that button, you can do that, or that specific skill can only be on that like keypad. Now I'm showing off here, I'm a Templar, but I can still use this sort of badass ability here, which is raise minion or zombies or whatever. So you see you have 3 of those abominations following me, and they're gonna kill enemies and damage them. A little bit of a distraction. And I think that's a really cool thing about this game as well, that it really offers you, like, even if I'm playing a Templar, for instance here, I can go with a lot of different things. And you see now there I did ground slam, which is one ability that you can have. I think it's a Templar or maybe in general. It's just a really powerful hits in the ground, and everyone behind that enemy is actually being damaged as well. And I did a little sweep there, swinging around, which I did earlier. I probably gonna do later on, of course. Now there's the one other negative I want to actually bring up here in my commentary and my first impression here, and to me that is actually that there's just a lack of tutorial and everything in this game. I mean, even if you have on your item sockets, you can see like, okay, how you put items on to I mean different items onto a socket, like, you know, on these red, green, blue on an item or weapon. It still just feels like there's no tutorial, and it's just a lack of that understanding. And I mean, I think in some games the exploration aspect really, you know, works. I bet it does in this game as well, but I just feel a bit lost whenever I get into this game. Actually, I'm like, okay, I want to play tanky Templar. Like, how do they do that with a lot of physical? I mean, sure, I could simply buy staffs and, you know, things to give me a lot of armor and so on, but there's no real. I gotta search on the internet for a guide. I just wish there was something more in game, really, at least that I haven't been aware of for the moment. Now, I'm actually gonna enter a dungeon here, which is gonna be different. We're pretty cool with more zombies and, you know, skeleton dudes and so on, and it's gonna be very interesting. It's actually part of the quest. In there, in the feather pool, I have one quest which is to kill every single enemy in that area, and that's pretty crazy because you don't want to die in here. That's gonna be pretty bad, of course. But now you can see you have your life, mana, and shield as well. Now shield is kind of interesting. There on the left, you can see under life there, it's sort of like an energy shield that is recharging when you're not taking damage. So if you're a mage, it's really cool. Otherwise, you can just go full damage and so on. And you can also see me using my sweep ability there. But I'm enjoying this game so far. I think it's really fun and entertaining. I'm having a great time whenever I'm playing this game. And immediately when I just picked up the when I fired it up, I just want to play it. I want to continue. I want to do the adventure that lies ahead. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button below and also comment. And if you want to see more awesome first impressions and reviews, hit that subscribe button in the right top corner. DOWLord out.